Welcome to the Cuttercast, presented by Canvas Cutter, where we leave chaos for campfires and trade deadlines for dirt roads. We dive into hunting stories, outdoor adventures, and the gear that lets you live life outside. Kick back and let's get into it.
AM or PM?
So you get like tired and then you
What?
pick her really up?
He's just wired at 10:30 at night.
To get to sleep. See, and it's Jake's fault actually, waking me up to go shoot bows before the butt crack of dawn. Yeah, I was very much not a morning person, but from so many and then the hunt started.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm 6:30. I'm up.
It's nice.
It is nice. And I'm not just up. I'm like forcing myself to get stuff done.
Yeah,
which is good.
My
feel
body
way
clock
better.
is just so flexible.
T's
It's crazy.
body clock is the most flexible.
T's
I've
body
ever
clock is
seen.
broken.
That's probably accurate.
Any moment he's not actively doing something, lights are
Bam.
out.
Yeah,
Oh,
if his heart rate
hey,
drops below
you know what that
110,
is?
he's gone.
My body is just efficient. That's what it is.
Super efficient.
You're like freaking.
Well, welcome to the Cuttercast, folks. It's Seth. We're here with TD, Mr. T, T-Dog, T-Money, and
Just
Shafe. And Shafe's here as well. Gosh, we got to shoot in the breeze with Shafe, but we need a good name for Shafe. If you guys have a great nickname for Shafe,
My
hit
name's
us up.
so weird and like odd.
It almost
that-
is a nickname in and of itself,
Yeah.
just naturally, but it's just
You
not
know how
the
many
same.
people I've come across after years of knowing them, like long time, and they finally get the courage. They go, "So, what is your first name?" Like,
Really?
Schafer's my first name. Oh, I thought that was your last name. Like, yeah, it's a common last name, but no, it's my first name.
That's funny. Huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, on this episode, we thought we'd have fun. We've all had a decent amount of experiences out in the woods and just camping, hunting,
For sure.
using Canvas Cutter gear, and otherwise. We thought it would be fun to share some of our experiences out in the woods and out
I
sleeping
would
away
actually.
from home.
I'm terrible at telling stories, and I have a bad memory, so this is not conducive to a good, entertaining episode from my perspective. But I also I'm eager to hear your guys' stories. I have a good one to share. I hope I can tell it well. But I also would love for them, our audience, to share some funny
yeah.
stories in the
Seriously.
I
comments.
know they have good stories.
100%.
And you guys share them in the comments. You send a good, funny story, and it doesn't have to be funny, just a good story to support@canvascutter.com. We'll make sure to throw it in one of these episodes because
I think
I
there
love
needs to be a
sharing good
giveaway.
reviews,
Should
good
we
stories.
impromptu
Let's do a
giveaway?
Impromptu giveaway.
Spontaneous.
Let's
Our
do it.
favorite story. What should we give away?
Let's give away like a burrow duffel.
Yeah.
Done.
Whoa, that happened quick. So you guys share in the comments. You send to support@canvascutter.com a story and we pick a winner. You just got yourself a $230 duffel bag. That's pretty
Heck yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, I would love to see them in the comments
Love to see him in the
Yeah.
comments. Yeah,
Be fun
let's see
for
him
because
in the
everybody else
comments.
can read them.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, let's see him in the comments, ideally. That'd be awesome. Okay, T, why don't you start us off today? Give
Okay.
us a good story.
Okay, so this one comes from, I started working for Canvas Cutter about 3 years ago, and I get all set up with all the gear. This is a couple weeks later. I got hired in November. The week of Christmas that year, I get this crazy idea with some
Can
buddies.
you believe we hired Taylor?
Just blast.
Remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I vividly.
I remember after the first interview saying there's no way he'll accept our offer.
No.
But that would be sweet. Here he is.
Miracles
Here he
happen,
is.
folks.
Miracles
I'm
happen.
very happy to be here. So that week of Christmas, like a week before, it was like the 19th or something. You get this crazy idea to go to Jackson, Wyoming. in the dead middle of winter, which if you've been to
what are you
Jackson in the
doing?
dead middle of winter,
If you
it
know
is
T, it's not
frigid
that
cold.
crazy. It's pretty normal.
It's pretty average trip in the winter, not gonna lie. But I was gonna take my bedroll up there, but I knew it was gonna be cold. I didn't know how cold, but I had one of those like the Teton elk hunters. I think it was
Yeah.
like -35. I put that in my bedroll, and I had this huge comforter that I put in there. So my bedroll was like, I mean, fat. It was huge. Threw it in the back of my buddy's truck. We drive up there, and that night that we're up there, oh my gosh, dude, it was so. I mean, Jackson's cold in the winter,
cold.
of course,
Mm-hmm.
but -26 degrees in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
And holy cow! So I'm in my bedroll. I really did not. If you've ever met me, you know I am a deep sleeper, and I can sleep fast.
It's
Like that.
you guys would have your mind blown. I will be in the vehicle with T. If it's been quiet for 35 seconds, gone.
I'm out.
Gone.
He's out.
I'm an efficient sleeper. That's all I got to say. But I fell asleep pretty quick that night, and I slept through the whole thing. I mean, I was toasty in there. My comforter, that huge sleeping bag, it was so great. My buddies, not so hot. I mean, they were frigid. They had to actually start the truck up and just run the heat all night because they couldn't do it.
Well, they
And
came to
dude, they tried to come out and wake me up because they thought I was going to be struggling too, and they couldn't wake me up. And they only tried like once or twice because they're so cold. They got to get in the truck.
Yeah.
So it was just like, he might be dead in there. And they just let me be until the morning. I wake up, and I mean, it was so cold that my canvas was frozen.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I opened it up, and it like crackled as I'm opening it up. And then, I mean, within like half a second, my hands are like numb.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
that
wild.
level of cold is so crazy. But I had no idea until I woke up and cracked it open. And I was like, holy moly, dude, I'm getting back in there and not coming out until spring. So, yeah, that's my story
That's
from
awesome.
Jackson. That's great.
I have one similar but different. It's an oldie, folks. I mean, this is back when yours truly was probably 15 years old, maybe 16.
Just a aspiring professional
Just
BMX
aspiring
rider.
professional. That is true. Rode a lot of BMX. Like, that was my life. Yeah. We had gone up. There was a canyon where we were hunting that just happened to hold a lot of really good bucks. And we had gone down, hiked down this ridge, and were glassing that evening. Took a while, finally found them. It was about a group of 5 bucks, and they were all shooters, like all without question shooters. And
This was a long time ago.
it was and so we hiked back, got back to the trucks where our bedrolls were, and at this time the bedroll was invented. My dad, all his buddies, myself, and a few individuals had them, but no
Small
business,
group. Yeah.
small group, right? And there was no pull system for a long time. In fact, there was no pull system until about 2016, 17, when we were like kicking it off. And so I would often just throw the canvas over me, like create this warmer barrier. But it was kind of warm that night, clearer sky, and got in my bedroll, ready to go to bed, and went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. I was so warm, so comfortable, like felt so rested. And at some point I had zipped the canvas around my head, which normally I just flipped it over, but I zipped it around, and I went to peek out to kind of gauge what time it was, and could not fathom, could not comprehend,
Brain
could
was not
compute.
computing.
There was no computing.
I've had that, though. I know what you're talking about.
Dude, it's that morning brain
Everything's
fog.
Everything was white, and I was like, you know, when you don't know if you're dreaming or like because you're so disoriented,
Could be dead.
Suddenly
Could
in
be
heaven.
dead.
Seeing the other side.
Everything's white, and I realized it had just snowed like a half a foot, and I had no idea. I went throughout the night, didn't hear it, didn't know it, just slept like a baby, looking outside, just beautiful white, and I'm toasty warm. And I just remember after getting up, and everybody's getting up, and we're all kind of surprised because it was like, it wasn't cold the night before, clear skies, and throwing it in the back of the truck and just thinking like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like I just I just woke up to snow and had no idea, and I slept so good. You know those sleeps where you wake up and you're just like, oh, that was so refreshing.
Oh yeah.
It was one of those, and
I feel like that's my 6-year-old every morning. She just doesn't know what reality is.
how did you sleep that good? Yeah,
Clearly good.
Clearly you slept quite well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shave, give us a story.
Oh.
Shave, I know the
So-
story you're going to tell.
so
and it's-
funny.
I think it's
I hope I can
hilarious.
do it justice, but
Not funny at the time, but definitely
As
definitely.
most of them are, right?
correct. True.
Well, it was during a hunt. It was with some of my good buddies and a guy, one of my good friends. It's his dad. He's what really introduced me to hunting. I hunted with my dad as 12, 13, 14 years old, but it was in high school when I really got a passion for hunting, and it was because of his name's Brent. And we're hunting with that group. Brent's got a wall tent. He's got a wall tent he's had for a long, long time. We spent countless nights in. And it's tattered. It's had its time in the time in the sun. So we got to a new area that we hadn't hunted before, and so we weren't familiar with all the best camping spots, and we just found what was adequate enough, which ended up being off the side of the road, kind of down into this meadow opening, and there were trees, but they were far enough away, so we were in a meadow.
Yeah.
Not a lot of coverage from trees and whatnot. So we camped out there and hunted that day, came back to camp, did our whole thing, got ready for bed, and the wind had started to pick up. So we could hear, a storm coming in, but none of us were concerned about the severity of the storm. And as we got to bed and started to wind down and fall asleep, that wind just continued to pick up, right? And it got so violent quick that right after we all kind of were
Settling into bed.
sleepy, like on the verge of just being out,
Yep.
we could start hearing the wind picking up to where we were starting to hear trees kind of like really moving back and forth. And then all of a sudden we hear this, and then we felt it, like
Ooh, yeah.
it shook the ground. And so that immediately got us all up like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so we're not nervous because we're out in the middle of the meadow, but the tree line is over there and there's some big ones.
Yeah.
So we're not worried about it really smashing us, but it's close for comfort.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh my gosh, can you believe that happened? Because it's rare to see it or hear a tree fall in the woods. And so we're all kind of just like going back and forth talking about that, and we turn the lantern back on and we look over, and one of the corners or walls of the wall tent is up off the
It's
ground.
like hovering off
it's
the
hovering.
ground.
And we're like, ooh, dang, should we fix that? And so one of my buddies, younger brother, gets up, and then Al gets up. So Dallin and Al, you guys know them, so I'll just use their names. So Dal and Al get up, and they volunteer to go outside and stake the tent down better, right? And Brent, he gets up. Everyone's in our underwear.
Right. Yeah.
Brent gets up. He's moping around, telling us his opinion on like, hey, we should stake this down or whatever. And so Dal and Al are outside. It's now a blizzard outside. It's snow's coming
proper.
down and the wind is howling.
Yep.
And so those guys are out in their underwear and coats trying to stake it down. And I'm kind of like in my bedroll, half asleep, half awake still, kind of just, I should have been more proactive. I should have been more of a help, but I wasn't. And neither was Landon. So we're just kind of, city workers watching these guys take care of it. And I don't remember whose idea it was, but we're like, the ground was so soft in this meadow that the stakes
just
were
wouldn't
ineffective.
stay, yeah.
Like you'd stake them down and
yeah.
they just pull right out.
Yep.
So they're like, "Well, get the 4-wheeler and bring it over, and we'll use tie
Tie it
down to
off.
the winch and the 4-wheeler." And so they were doing that. Okay, in the process of doing that, you could hear the wind start to. It
to
sounded
pick up.
like a F-16 jet.
Yeah.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
In the distance, just like picking
It
up.
was growing.
I vividly remember Brent is standing in the doorway of the tent. And he's got his arms up on the rails, the rails of the tent, and he's holding it down. And now I'm getting out of my bedroll, so I'm sitting on the edge of my cot, and I can grab one of the tubing, the frame of the tent. So I'm like ineffectively got this thing right.
Yeah.
And so Al and Dal, I don't know how, because the four-wheeler was not connected, but they were back in the wall tent. So they must have like abandoned their effort or something, because as this F-16 is growing closer, Brett's standing in the door going, "Here it comes!" And I'm like, "What the heck?" I kid you not. He barely gets "here it comes" out before that F-16 wind hits our tent, and just I remember his arms going straight up and then letting go because he couldn't reach any further. And instinctively, I grabbed its conduit, right? It's 1-inch conduit. I grabbed it, and this tent picks up and flies back behind me, and I'm holding one of the conduit tubing, and I could feel it kink in my hand.
Oh my God.
Literally felt it kink. It was so bizarre. And I let go, just kind of get tossed, and it goes 25, 30 yards, just a kite. Just picks up.
Oh my gosh.
Immediately after, Landon starts screaming, "It's on me! It's on me!" We look over, and the stove is piping hot. Like,
Right, yeah.
We're
Potbelly
just
stove.
going to bed. We have it full. And the glow-in-the-dark stove jack is laying on him in bed. "It's on me!" So we're panicked trying to get it off of him.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like our brains couldn't compute either.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like
you were in a wall tent.
Shock.
Now
warm
you
and
are
cozy.
outside.
Yeah. A wall tent that's supposed to protect us from
Elements.
what we're
Yes.
experiencing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we literally are in our underwear, no shoes.
In a snowstorm.
In a snowstorm. Everything is getting annihilated.
Yeah.
Wind
Wind.
blowing everything. Snow's coming down. Landon's getting burnt to death. Like, it was chaos. So it was like, it's funny. I've never been in situations where it was that, I don't know how to explain it. Frantic or intense. Just like my brain couldn't compute. And so I just went into auto drive, and we just all started.
It was a non-violent war zone.
It was. We weren't talking to one another. We were just all like busy getting
Survival
our
mode
stuff,
to work,
throwing it in the trucks, the cabs of our trucks, and trying to get everything to where it wouldn't blow away. And I'm very particular, right? I like my stuff to be organized
Clean,
and
organized, neat.
And so for that to just happen, and me just be like, all my stuff's yard sold across the meadow, and I'm in my underwear.
Everybody else is surprised. Schafer is in almost a comatose state.
I'm in like Zen mode. I'm like,
what do I do?
I'm like, my brain's not even computing anymore. I'm just moving around, putting stuff away. But we threw everything in the back of our trucks or in our cabs, and it was a miserable night because I sat basically up in my driver's seat with the truck on, the heater going, and just waiting it out. And I actually have video of the aftermath. It's pretty good.
We're gonna have to show some.
We could. But the next morning, we salvaged everything that we could, brushed everything off, got everything cleaned up, went to the tent. The tent was still in the meadow back behind us, just in tatter.
Yeah.
And so we went and pulled all the framework out of it. And luckily, it didn't rip, like more than what had already been ripped. And so it was certainly serviceable. But a few of the poles had really taken a beating. The one I had, still can't believe the pole literally kicked in my hand.
So crazy.
I must have had some superhuman strength at the
freak
moment.
of nature.
Just a freak of
That
nature.
adrenaline rush.
It just
crazy.
But so we ended up actually driving into town and to a hardware store, bought a whole bunch of conduit and a pipe cutter and cut everything to size and put it back up. And the next day it was bluebird and green grass. Like, you couldn't even tell.
Well, what's wild is, if I recall right, that was a really dry year, right?
So
and it was
dry.
like super dusty and dry,
Yes.
and we were on the phone talking about it, and then that happened.
And then it went back to dry, like a popcorn fart. Yeah. So that was having a tent blow away is one thing, but a wall tent. I mean, this
Yeah,
thing
dude,
is 16 by 15.
Yeah, you're all in there. All your gear's in there.
all in
You're
there.
half asleep, and then boom, you're
Yeah.
outside.
It was crazy.
You know, the story is funny, just because of his personality. What is so visually funny is Brent.
That's
rolling
exactly,
on-
that's exactly what I was thinking
Here
too.
it comes. Here it
It's
comes.
so much funnier
Knowing
if you know
Brent,
him.
and then it's just like going.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that
Yeah.
is a good one. That is a funny story. Well, another, this is an important story to Canvas Cutter.
Okay.
My next one. I wish it was funny, just because I appreciate laughing.
It's,
and I think
it's somewhat
people do.
funny.
It is. It is.
Oh, I
Maybe
have
I'll
another
try
one to piggyback, by the way.
Okay,
Just
good.
recently.
Oh, good.
I might air my
Okay,
Nice.
good.
humiliation here.
Well, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Well, a good transition from a wall tent story is another wall tent story.
Okay, perfect.
And this was before Canvas Cutter existed. In fact,
Way back.
friends, listeners, viewers,
Dramatic music.
traumatic music. This is the beginning of Canvas Cutter.
The
This
origin
is
story.
the origin. This is the seed that created it all. My dad and had started putting in for and hunting Region G with some of his buddies, and my first hunt ever was Region G, and I had killed a little buck on my birthday, and it was awesome. This little 4-point buck, super fun experience. And a few years had passed, and we were back. My dad had a tag, and I was with him. And
Back when you could get a tag a few years later.
you could get a tag a few years later, and we set up a little wall tent. It was probably like a 12 by 14 or 12 by 12. It was snug.
Mm-hmm.
It was me, my dad, and one of his friends, super good guy. And we had gone out for the evening, set it up, got our gear out, went out for the evening. It was kind of cruddy weather. It was really funny because he had just got super expensive rain gear. And so he gave me his really cheap Cabela's rain gear, like $15 rain gear.
Yeah.
And he got wet and I was dry. And
Perfect.
he was so ticked. We were watching a decent 3-point. It was like, like a 28, 29 inch 3-point, looked really good. And he's like, should I shoot it? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm down. Like,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
I'm a younger teenage kid. I'm like, yeah, shoot whatever. I would be stoked. And so we were glassing, made it back to camp, and it was dark, but once we turned the lantern on, we noticed in getting things ready for dinner, like there's a hole in the wall of the wall tent, like a softball sized hole. And we're like,
What the heck?
what the heck? And so we go tromping around, outside like flashlights as if we're going to see something, but like maybe we would find the piece of canvas that was clear, like you could clearly see it had been munched out. We're like, what munched a softball sized hole in the wall tent?
Yeah.
And this is my dad's wall tent. He's kind of frustrated about that, obviously. And so we're like, stupid squirrels. So the next day, like before we hit the woods, we were like looking up in the trees and for holes if we could find it. My dad's like, I'm going to dump gas down every hole. I'll blow them out of there.
that's so him.
You're so upset.
So him.
And so we're like, well, back in the Action Packer day, like when
Yeah.
Action Packers, well, they're still awesome, but back when they were like the thing, we stacked 2 Action Packers up against it and then put one on the inside, so it's like can't eat it.
Yep. Yep.
And we go out hunting. Not super eventful. Saw some deer, nothing to get excited about, and hunted all day. Super exhausted, and we came back. I think that afternoon actually, and because we just it wasn't anything special. Like we weren't seeing what we used to and what we were expecting to. So we're gonna try a different area. Came back, and my dad pulls the Action Packers out, and the hole's like a basketball size hole now.
Dude.
And now it's like war. War is happening right now. And so we were tromping around and just grew this radius around the wall tent of like, we're finding this squirrel, like death is happening. Like it couldn't find anything, like no trace of anything. Well, we were there a couple more days. Every day the hole got bigger. It was the wildest thing. We're
And
just
your
like,
dad's frustration.
anger increasing.
Gotta
We're
be.
There's not a buck to go after. That we're not seeing the deer we're expecting.
He's on the verge of losing.
We're just
it,
like,
I'm
where
sure.
else can we go? This hole keeps getting bigger. We can't find the creature that's eating. It's like, is a squirrel really
That's
in
so
like
crazy.
4 hours munching that much canvas? Like, what is eating this? Anyway, so we ended up going home, and my dad's stubbornness, he tried to find somebody who would fix the wall tent.
Yeah.
Which is reasonable. Like I think most people would. And he knew a few people that did. Like
At least he didn't call the manufacturer or the person that sold the tent and demand a new one.
This is a piece of crap. It's falling apart. I took it out and something ate a hole in it. I don't know how it happened. But he took it to a few places, and because it was like a used tent, they didn't want to run it through their clean machines, right? And so they like made furniture. Like one guy,
Yeah, canvas is not a lightweight fabric. You got to have the right.
You got to have an
machines.
industrial sewing machine to do it. And he couldn't find anybody that was willing to fix it. So instead of buying another tent, which was the cheaper option by a decent amount,
by a lot. Yeah.
true to FW, father wisdom, he bought an industrial sewing machine and he fixed his own tent. And he fixed the tent, and then that morphed into him making his own wall tent, and then making a couple for his buddies, and then eventually the bedroll
Yeah.
at the time, which has morphed into this.
Stubbornness
But
really paid off.
stubbornness paid off, but it was so upsetting. It was funny. Like we'd laugh about it. We're like, where is this thing? And we're just like, we got to blow this place up. Like we've got to get a retribution.
I can totally see. I have a great idea. We need to get him a taxidermied squirrel with canvas in his hands.
Yes.
That'd be
That
so
would be
funny.
hilarious.
We need to do a shirt.
And it's like the beginnings. That would be a great
is a
shirt.
good shirt. It's a
good
Comment
shirt.
below.
Great
Do you
idea.
want a shirt with a squirrel with canvas?
In the
And it's like,
beginning.
in the beginning, yeah. And it's like canvas munching, squirrel munching on canvas.
Oh, we got to get your dad
That's hilarious.
Schafer,
with that squirrel that we saw on the fence line with the giant.
Oh yeah.
We got to get a taxidermied squirrel with tennis balls and our canvas in his hands.
That'd be so hilarious.
So good.
Schafer's recently had an experience with a squirrel.
Your dad his nemesis is squirrels, because this last hunt a few weeks ago, he had on the top of his generator, he had a bag of tools in a canvas bag that he made, because he makes all
Everything.
bags.
Yeah.
He has bags inside of bags inside of bags. The
and
dude's,
bags, yeah.
I don't know how he,
Which allows him to have everything you could possibly conceive of.
Yeah.
everything.
Like,
But I don't know
will-
how he finds it.
I will embarrassingly
That's a good point.
ask him, like, if he has something.
He's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I have it. 10 minutes later, he's handing it to me.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. So he has this tool bag on top of his generator, and the squirrels got to it and
Bag gone.
chewed it up.
Tools.
Bag's gone.
Tools scattered on the ground.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he hates
He's on
so
high
pissed.
alert.
he hates squirrels. Okay, so then we take the 4-wheelers down this dirt road and get to the end of the road, and I need to trust humanity more than I do.
And you need to not be so particular on how things
We are
feel.
we
how
are in an
sensitive you
area
are.
that is like probably not a lot of traffic going over
When
there.
my dad says it might be a couple hours, we're in here pretty deep. That's the type of area that we're in.
you could probably trust.
Well, no, I wasn't there. You guys were there.
Nonetheless,
Nonetheless,
we drove the 4-wheelers to the end of this road that we were then going to hike down a trail.
Yep.
The day before, had carried around my 4-wheeler key in my pocket, and I couldn't stand it.
He didn't
Drove them
like it.
crazy.
I couldn't. It's a big key with a big keychain
It's a
on it.
4-wheeler key.
Yes, but it's big. And I didn't like it. I don't like crap in my pockets. Okay? I also have a paranoia that if I put it in my backpack, somehow I'm going to open up a zipper, be doing something else, and not notice it fall out. Okay,
Don't notice.
It's a fear. How unreasonable it is, it's a fear.
It's out there for you to judge.
So I, in my eternal wisdom, decided, hey, I'm just going to stash this four-wheeler key in front of my four-wheeler 5 feet underneath a tree. I'm going to slightly hide it to where the layman, the random dude that walks up, and if he has bad intentions, he's going to see that my four-wheeler key is not there, and he's going to look in all the common spots. Behind the tire, in the little glove box thing that I got, whatever, right?
Right.
He's not going to look at the tree, the base of it, 5 feet in front of it. That's my logic.
Nice.
This is in the dark.
Yep.
Okay.
Early morning.
So I got the headlamp on. I find a little spot. This is a great spot for my key. I can see it, but if you're not actively looking for it, you're not going to see it. We go hike for a few hours. We come back because we're jacked out of our minds that John's got a bowl down.
Yeah.
Yep.
So everyone's high on the Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk right to that tree, and I look down, and immediately just that panic.
Yeah.
Well, god dang.
Anxiety.
Where's my key?
I'm looking around. I'm like, wait a second. My key's supposed to be right here, and it's not. So I must be confused with the wrong tree.
There must be a different tree here.
So I walk back to my four-wheeler, and I kind of reenact what I did.
You're like,
because what's funny is because I went to there was 2 Quakies that were growing out together, and they made a little notch, and I put the key in that little notch before. I was like, this is a perfect spot off the ground, but it looked too visible. Like, if you would have just randomly scanned, you could have seen my keys.
Because people are scanning trees.
They're scanning trees. So I was like, that's not good enough. So anyway, I go back to that set of trees, and I'm like, I was right here. I know it. And then Taylor
I'm watching all this happen. Yeah.
and Jason, they're like, yeah, we saw you back there messing around. Like, those were the trees you're at. I'm like, yeah, that's what I think. So I'm starting to rack my brain, and I'm like, God, am I really that dumb? Like, I know I went here, and then I turned to my left, and this was the tree. So then these guys are like, you lost your key? And I'm like, it's not here. I don't know.
Why is your key on the ground in the first place?
So then they start helping, and I'm almost like, hang on, guys, like a crime scene here. Like, don't disturb anything. It's visible. Like, we can see it.
We can for sure
careful.
see this key.
So these guys are all helping me, and it's a 10-foot radius. There's 4 of us. We spend how long? Half hour?
Dude, well, how soon into this
probably
did
40
Father
minutes.
Wisdom
I was just going to
suggest?
say that part. We probably spent 40 minutes. In the first 5 minutes, Father's over there Father's over there by his four-wheeler.
And I was annoyed.
Like, Squirrel took it.
he's like, done. He's done.
Don't even bother.
He's like, what are you doing, you idiot? The squirrel took it. And I'm like, what in the... There's no chance in heck that a freaking squirrel has grabbed my key and ran off with it. No. Father's like, I was annoyed. He's like, I'm like, dude, if you're not going to help,
his head the
leave
whole
your
time.
comments to yourself.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
He's like, been here, done that. And you're just like, you're wrong. There's no way that's happening.
A squirrel is not grabbing my four-wheeler key. So I'm like, thankfully, Taylor and Jason were like, okay, well, trying to work it through with me. And the more and more I'm getting more frustrated and more like, oh, you dumb idiot. Like, how can you not remember? And then about 20 or so minutes in, or I don't know, it was a while. I started thinking
it had to have been a while because we quartered an elk out. That's true. That's true. Long before you guys got there.
That's true, because I started, that was like, what if? Because there's no chance that we would not have found this key by now.
Yep.
I had excavated a foot deep of earth beneath this tree. There's no shot that it's not there.
He was getting his hands dirty.
I was in there.
He was.
So the stark reality is like, dude, what if Father Wisdom is right?
It started to become the most likely thing because you're like, where in the heck else could
most
it
likely
have possibly gone?
So to cut the story short here, we used
a squirrel took Schafer's four-wheeler
and he's
key.
got it on a necklace
He is
now.
blinging
So
right
we
now.
need to do a taxidermied squirrel holding a softball patch of canvas with my
it.
four-wheeler key
Yes.
necklace
Yeah.
and give it to father.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
Ended up towing out.
Yeah, it
Father
wasn't
towed
bad.
you
It
out.
luckily
actually
wasn't
didn't
bad.
end up being
It could have
bad.
been way, way worse.
Could have been really bad.
$54. Bought a new ignition system. You can't replace Polaris four-wheeler keys. You have to buy a whole new
You
set.
can put them in pockets, though.
Well, I've got an AirTag on order.
Then it's going to be up 40 feet
Yeah.
in some nest.
Well, at least we
It's
can track.
saying it's up
at least I
there,
can
but
shoot
I
him.
left it down
That's true.
here.
You could just shoot him out.
Yeah,
But then you could taxidermy that one.
yeah, that's perfect. So,
T finishes off. Give us. Are we going? Are we going fun and funny, or are we going nightmares?
Dude, I've got a couple. I think I'm going to go the funny.
You
think
know,
I'm gonna go the
I
funny one.
enjoy both of them. Let's just
Your
see
scary
how,
one is like-
Let's just see how long it is.
Worst
Your
case
scary
scenario for
one's
me.
like kind of worth telling, but it is freaky.
I don't know what I would do.
Neither.
Do you want me to
neither
tell the
do I.
scary
Now
one?
we've
I feel
let
like
on.
Tell them
We
both.
gotta-
Tell them
yeah.
both. Start with the
Okay,
scary
okay.
one. End with the funny one. Let's
Okay.
end with the laugh.
Okay, I'm going to
Yeah,
start
tell
with the
them both.
scary one. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, whenever I'm using the Summit sleep system, that's when all my best stories come, it seems like. I have
Yeah.
like so many stories of using
the
the
Summit.
So I went to Oregon and Washington this June, so a couple months ago. Went with a buddy. We're driving in his Subaru for this whole road trip, so he had like a little bed set up in the back of his Subaru, and I took my Summit so I could just, throw out wherever, like
Yeah.
what bedrolls are designed to do. It's great. So we went to the Oregon coast this one day. We're driving into like kind of central Oregon over to like Corvallis area. I mean, it's super late at night. We drove out to the coast from Utah in one stretch, typical
Yeah,
T
typical
kinda
T
trip.
drive. Yeah.
So we're both tired. I mean, and I'm driving. It's like 2 a.m. And so I find a camp spot on iOverlander. It's this app I use to find
Yeah.
free camp spots. It's this big like gravel area off this little forest road. And I mean, I'm exhausted, so I pull in there, and there's a bunch of other people. And most of the time, I would be like, I'd drive somewhere else to try to get some lonesomeness, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, whatever, I'm going to sleep for like 3 hours, then I'm
Yeah.
going to leave.
So exhausted.
So I get there, I park. My buddy is asleep in the back, like he was just sleeping while I was driving because we're all trying to catch up. And I get my bedroll out. I'm like setting it up, and as I'm setting it up, bear in mind this is at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I see this headlamp off in the distance in the woods, and I hear like branches snapping. I'm like, what are they doing right now? They're like,
Who's
there's
in the
no
woods at
there's no like
2:30 in the morning?
firelight or anything. Like I thought maybe
Yeah.
they were getting firewood or something, but there's no fire going. And it's like, okay, whatever. I'm tired, so I'm gonna set up my bedroll. So I'm doing that. I get my bedroll set up, exhausted. I get in my Summit, zip it closed, and I'm laying there, and I'm getting ready to fall asleep, like that.
Pretty quick.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is-
It
this
had
is-
to have been quick.
this
I
is
mean,
pretty-
the guy
there's
lays down,
no
he's
other
gonna go
option.
out.
Pretty fast after I got it set up. And then I'm laying there and literally about to drift off to sleep, and I hear these footsteps walking over. I'm like, what the heck is this person doing? And, it gives me the chill. I'm getting the chills right now thinking about it. But those footsteps, I mean, get so close, and they are right next to my bedroll.
Dude.
Walk all the way around it, like probably 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, what the heck is this person doing? And in that moment, I learned I will never sleep in my bedroll without my gun again, especially in
Yeah.
an area like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just laying there, not sure what to do. Like, do I yell or like I kind of want to keep the
What are
element of
you doing?
surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of like shuffled, like I was like waking up almost, and like breathe kind of hard, and then I didn't hear anything for a second, and then they finally like walked away. Dude, just chills up my spine.
No
like
light
crazy.
on, no headlamp on.
No light, nothing.
So standing there in the dark.
Yeah.
At the
Standing there
foot
in
of
the
your
dark,
bed.
and I could hear it breathing.
And
I could,
it's not
It's a
Sasquatch.
person. No, I don't know.
Maybe it
Could've
was.
been.
This is a
But-
Sasquatch. Scott.
I think it was just an
So
Oregon
creepy.
meth head or something.
Yeah, dude.
But
Yeah.
I could hear him breathing when
Oh.
he was walking around. It was so freaky. And he finally walked away. And dude, I was so on edge. So like as soon as I heard those footsteps drift off, I like rip open my bedroll and I like throw it in the car and I like peel out of there because I was just so freaked out.
I
And then I
would've been
drove,
too.
and then I slept at some rest stop on the interstate with a bunch of other trucks around me. Wouldn't get murdered, hopefully. So yeah, that one was
wild.
super
You
freaky.
came home and told me that one, and I wanted to chastise
What would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know, because there is, like, keep the element of surprise,
Yeah.
and there's also, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But then if it is, like, some meth head tripping off, like, tripping out, you
Yeah.
don't know what they're going to do.
Right. I have a
Dude,
tendency to
and
just be a hothead and be like, tough guy.
Yeah.
But that probably is not the right way to go.
Dude, and I'm
Especially
in my
with that.
Summit 2.0, so it's got the vents, right? And I wanted to like get up
Look.
and look through the vents, but I was so scared I was gonna see like an eye
Yeah.
looking in or something.
Yeah.
So I just laid there. I did have my pocket knife when I was like holding it because I have nothing else to rely on.
Yeah, that is wild.
Oh, dude, it was so freaky.
Yeah, if it's some dude cracked out, like,
yeah.
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 And don't tell
Freaky.
me that's because of a
Freaky.
bedroll. It would have happened in a tent too, so there's
Yeah.
not a big
Yeah,
difference.
no, it
I
wasn't-
love
it
people
wasn't
like
because of the bedroll.
they see the bedroll and they're like, oh, "Well,
For
a bear's
some-
gonna eat you in there." Well, a bear will eat you in a tent
Yeah,
too.
a tent
if a bear's
provides
gonna eat
no
you.
more protection than a bedroll does.
That
In
freaked
fact,
me out when you told me that, because T is one to like just on a whim be like, "I'm gonna head to Chicago." Like, really?
Chicago,
Just
I
for the
never go to
weekend?
Chicago.
Taylor, it's 7:30 at night.
Like,
Like,
I'll
really?
get there tomorrow.
That's
I'll be
fine.
back on Monday. See ya.
Well, it is kind of crazy with how much I do this stuff that I don't have more crazy stories like that, because I feel like I have a lot of friends that live on the road like I do, and
And you're way more trusting of people than me. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
hiding
yeah.
a four-wheeler
Yeah.
key. You're
I'm
they're
always
laying
like,
out
T,
in the
you
middle
have
of
got
somebody
to
else's
have
camp.
a weapon on you. But let's end on a funny
a funny
note.
one. All right.
A funny note.
Okay. Also, with my Summit, hence the reason saying I've got so many stories at Summit.
These aren't necessarily supposed to be plugs. It's just our experience with our own
It's
stuff.
just
Yeah,
we're
it
just
really
getting
is.
out, but we happen
Yeah.
when we get out to use our own stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
100%.
just gonna be the.
So this was last summer. I had the newly released Summit 2.0. This was like, I think, the first backpacking trip I took it on. But I had a bunch of friends that wanted to go on a backpacking trip somewhere that summer. So we went to the Winds and to one of my favorite places. It's really phenomenal, called Green River Lake.
Hey,
It's
just
awesome.
keep that on the DL.
Well, you know, Jeff is going to hear it.
Yeah, that's right. Dad?
Dad, you know what we're talking about.
So
yeah. Keep that on the DL. We don't want Susan and
Susan,
Jeff
you
knowing
better not
about
be
that.
going to the Winds.
Susan, I know you love to go camping.
So I'm planning this trip, and I'm gonna take my Summit, and I like to kind of sleep separate from everybody, especially on trips like that, because you know when you're going with a bunch of mid-20-year-olds, everybody
Yeah.
has a tendency to be up late talking, and
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person on a trip like that. I like to be up early, taking photos and videos and whatnot. So I try to sleep away from people for the most part. And I'm going with a bunch of people that are very new to backpacking, or they have very limited experience. So especially when I'm planning trips like that, I feel a large sense of responsibility for everyone's safety and just like their experience.
Helping them
right?
out, having a good
them
experience.
I want them to enjoy what I enjoy. So we're going on this trip. We hike. It's like 5 miles in. It's nothing crazy. So we get there. I get out my Summit. I set it up like immediately, and it takes 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I set
so
it up
quick.
away from where I know everybody else is going to camp at. Then I'm going to go help everyone else get their stuff set up. And I've got that tarp actually I brought on the elk hunt that I set up
Yeah,
for everybody
super
to
awesome.
stand under, because you get like those afternoon thunderstorms and the winds a lot. So I think I was in the middle of setting that up, and we're camped on this like little hill overlooking this river that runs down. And this is in like early July, so that river's rushing still, because you still got a lot of snow melt even
Tons.
into
Yeah.
July in the winds. And so I'm sitting there setting stuff up. I'm helping people out, and then someone calls over to me and they're like, "Taylor, is that your tent in the river?" I said, "No, it's not my tent. First of all, I got a bedroll. It's not really a tent." So they're probably
Get it
thinking,
right.
thinking of someone else's. And they're like,
Clearly
"Are
thinking
you
of
sure?
someone
I think that's yours." And so I like, I'm like, "All right, let
Nonchalantly
me go
go
check out and
look."
help whoever idiot put their tent in the river. So I go over there and I'm like, "Oh shiz, that is my Summit bedroll," because I didn't stake it down, and there was a little breeze on the hill that I had set up on that had blown it into and all my stuff isn't like my sleeping bag is
Yeah.
in there, and
It's just lightweight
But it's
stuff.
it's so
lightweight.
heavy, dude. You can't backpack with it.
Yes.
It's such a joke. Like a
so the wind like pulled it into this river, and it had snagged on this little log with a branch that's hanging over this, like, I mean, it's rushing over this
That's
little
your guardian
cascade
angel,
right there.
bro.
Yeah, it really was. It caught my tent. Otherwise, it would have been
Yeah.
downstream somewhere. And
Can you think of the amount of foot-pounds of pressure of a raging river,
dude, and that's the
shoving
thing
your
is
sleep
because
system
the
into a
vent-
log?
The vents were like upriver that got snagged, and so water is just going into it,
into
and it
it.
is pouring in. That thing is full. I mean, half of it is under the river, and it's in the middle. So I've got to like kind of like
Navigate the river.
sketchily get out there with all this like cubic feet per second of water coming down at me. And I grabbed my tent, and I literally I had to haul it up because there's so much water weight in it. It was like 150 pounds. It
Oh, I
felt
bet.
like
It would
was
have to
so
be.
heavy. It felt like I was pulling someone out with a life vest.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
heavy. And I pull it out. And literally all my
Everybody's
friends, 12,
standing there watching
12
you.
people up on the
Watching
hill
the
watching
professional
me.
camper.
Yes, I thought I'm the guy to come to when you need help, and
You do
I'm
this
out
for a
there looking
living?
like an absolute idiot.
Do you know you live in the woods?
So I pull it out, and I mean, all my stuff is just soaked, obviously, but a testament to how well our stuff is
There
built.
you
I
go.
mean, so much weight literally hanging on the vent, snagged on that log
That is
in the middle of the
wild.
river, just water pouring into that, and then me ripping it out of there too. And dude, I still use that
that's-
summit.
Bro,
to this
that
day.
was
It's
one of
in
your
phenomenal
ancestors. That was like
condition.
a great-great-grandma or somebody helping
Something.
you out. Because
So I literally
Just old
unzipped
grandma
it and
snag.
dumped out the water. And I mean, you could have taken an ice bath with all that water.
Everybody's whispering around tea now. It's like, wow.
what, so you didn't have time to dry out before you had to
Sure we're gonna be
sleep.
safe?
So this was at 3 p.m. So I laid all my stuff out, and it got fairly dry, but I was kind of cold that night because it was still a little bit.
Your
Damn.
body had
Still a
to
little
finish
wet.
drying
Dude,
the
that's
bag out.
hilarious.
Yeah, so it was
Which
fun experience.
that would be a an experience with your product, which I hope you could be understanding if the vent tore, or
yeah, because that's
if,
great. That is crazy.
Hey, we warranty everything except stupid.
we'll warranty everything except stupid.
And what I did was stupid. I didn't stick it to
Oh,
It
that
was
is
stupid,
so
but at the
funny.
same time, you don't anticipate.
I've not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
those are
rarely
all-
stake
I never
mine
stake
down.
mine
and
down.
it's
No.
usually fine.
And most of the time, as well, especially in the Dominator, I mean, it's never going to
Well, according to our comments, other than Jeff and Susan, the Summit's way too heavy. So
yeah, so you shouldn't have to
usually
worry about
doesn't blow.
You know what I say to
away.
that? You can chop off the end of your toothbrush, but you could also just stop eating as much and lose a few pounds.
You could hit the gym. There's an option there.
Yeah.
Anyways, good stories. I hope that you
Fun
guys
stuff.
enjoyed those stories. I enjoyed them. And Burrow Duffel on the line.
Yeah, I want to hear.
I want to hear some of your guys'
good
stories.
stuff. Or scary, or whatever you think is
Yeah.
a good story. I want to hear it.
a good camping, hunting, or
We should
outdoor experience
We'll do.
story.
How about this? Let's up the ante even more. Let's do the giveaway with the burrow, and then we could even feature it in one of our emails.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
super
that would be
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah,
Maybe
of
even a
course.
photo. You
Yeah,
give
send
us
in
a
a photo.
photo.
Yeah,
too.
we'll
Share a photo if you got
contact
it.
the winner, see if we can get a photo, and then do an email about it and share it on a podcast.
Let's do it.
Coming up, let's
yeah.
do it. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate it, Jeff and Susan, and occasionally Russ. Please leave us a review, Mom, and anybody else that might want to. And until next time, keep on keeping on.